The women, between the fertilization and all of the other things that we're talking about, it's going to be great. We're joined today, fertilization. I'm still very proud of it. I don't care. I'll be known as the fertilization president, and that's okay.
The self-described fertilization president, Donald Trump, and his administration are apparently brainstorming ways to persuade women to have more babies. New reporting this week from the New York Times says that some of those ideas include, get ready for this, a $5,000 cash baby bonus to new moms, reserving 30% of Fulbright scholarships for those who are married with children, state-funded education programs teaching women about their menstrual cycle so they can better understand when they are ovulating and able to conceive, and a National Medal of Motherhood for women with 6 or more children. My goodness. Joining me now, Christina Greer, Associate Professor of Political Science at Fordham University and co-host of the FAQ NYC podcast.
Wow. I have not seen Handmaid's Tale, but I feel like I might want to start.
You just lived through it.
I mean, so here's the thing. You have a president that wants to make sure women get pregnant, but we have an administration that wants to make sure we don't pay for hospitals. We're closing them across the country. We don't support pre-K. We don't support public education. We don't support any sort of medical research or science. The list goes on and on about all the ways they're taking away once a baby is actually here. That's one. Two, we have lots of people who are already in this country who are making families and trying to make a way, but they're systemically deporting them. They're ripping apart families, actually. These conservative acts are saying we want to have more families. Well, we have families. We have children who are defending themselves in immigration courts all across this country, and you're taking mothers and fathers away from them. So we know what the larger project is. All the pictures that they're showing, it's not women that look like me. It's not women of color. This is a much larger project. They're so afraid of 2040 when blacks and Latinos become, people of color are the majority in the nation. And so this is, if you look at who Donald Trump has surrounded himself with, these proto-nationalists, people who believe that women should be in the home raising 6+ children. We know Elon Musk subscribes to that with his 14 children. Sean Duffy, father of 9. Where are the mothers? They're at home where they should be, taking care of the family. But as far as government entities are concerned, they don't pay for anything to support a family. This one-time $5,000, you and I both know, $5,000 is absolutely nothing. So you don't support women getting insurance. You don't support, research in, nutrition. I'm thinking of our good friend Robert Kennedy Jr. I mean, the list is so egregious of the things that this administration is taking away from women and families. The audacity to say that they want to actually encourage women to sign up for a life of breeding, essentially, is really, I kind of have no words.
Really, if you had known that 30% of Fulbright scholarships were going to women who were married and had children, you wouldn't have made a different choice. The whole thing is so preposterous, right? And the fact that you brought up the question of how much of this has to do with race. There's also the question of what kind of family beyond race that they are talking about. This, the New York Times points out, much of the movement is built around promoting a very specific idea of what constitutes a family, one that includes marriage between a man and a woman and leaves out many families that don't conform to traditional gender roles or family structures. They're reconstituting the American family.
Right. And we have worked so hard to try and become a more inclusive nation so that we know we can support LGBTQ plus families that have a blended family. We can support families that have used IVF or adoption. We can support women or men who choose to go it alone and start a family as a single person. So we know that none of those things are on the table. But I think we also have to hit home the point. This administration, and dare I say the Republican Party writ large, does not tend to care about children once they're outside of the womb. They are obsessed with women's wombs, and they know very little about menstrual cycles. It was surprising.
I know, could everyone actually sit in on that class? Maybe all members of Congress could join them.
Can we have an 8th grade public health class? I beg. Because most men, when you say a 6-week abortion ban, most women have no idea that they're even pregnant. If they knew anything about women's anatomy, they would know that. And so there's this lack of understanding, but a purposeful lack of understanding for certain people in this administration. And others actually do know the harm that they're causing, and they don't care. And so what's so frustrating and dangerous about this moment is it's couched in this real conservative family values, but we know the overarching theme is this larger conservative ideology of what a family looks like, but also we can't ignore the racial element. This has a long-standing history in this country about who should be the dominant group. We know that the president has talked many times about his good genes and his eugenics, and we know that they want/need more white people in this country. This is what the mass deportations are about. We know that the way the rules are set up in this country, only white women can make white men. Only white women can make white babies. So if that's the case, you have to make sure you defund abortion. You have to make sure you make it illegal and criminal. You have to make sure that you make it as easy as possible for white women specifically to be able to have children, whether it's IVF or whatever it may be, because the idea is to get them back to 100 years ago when white people are the dominant group.
How do you